There's a hidden law in history. Empires don't fall when the armies lose. They fall when the people stop believing in the money. Because money isn't gold or paper or digital code. It's faith, crystallized into a symbol. And when that faith breaks, everything built on it begins to crumble. Today, we trace the rhythm of that collapse, a pattern that's ended every currency, every empire, every time. And we'll ask the question no one dares to. Has America already crossed the point of no return? No 46 to turn 230. Scene: Roman denarius, Spanish silver, British pound, US dollar transitions. Stage 1. The birth of trust. Every reserve currency begins as something real, something people can touch, weigh, and believe in. For Rome, it was silver. For Spain, the gold of the New World. For Britain, the pound was literally a pound of sterling silver. For America, it was gold until 1971. That tangible link between labor, value, and metal is what gives people faith. It's what makes trade possible, contracts meaningful, and governments powerful. But no empire ever resists temptation for long, because power always wants more than reality can provide. 2:31 or 4:15. Scene: Gold coins being clipped, debased, 16th century Spanish ships, Nixon at a podium. Stage 2, the expansion. The empire grows, wars are fought, colonies established, debts multiplied. And to pay for it all, leaders start to cheat the system. The Romans shaved silver from their coins. The Spanish flooded Europe with New World gold until it was worth less than iron. Britain printed notes beyond its reserves. And America, the modern empire, simply removed the limit altogether. In 1971, the dollar was untethered from gold. From that day on, money became pure belief, a promise backed only by trust. And that's when the countdown began. 4:16-5:50. Scene: Factories humming, stock prices soaring, modern cities rising. Stage 3. The illusion of prosperity. When money is easy, everyone feels rich. Governments borrow. Corporations expand. People buy homes they can't afford and call it growth. GDP soars, stocks rise, and politicians celebrate what they think is progress. But inflation isn't growth. It's theft disguised as success. Rome celebrated bread and circuses while its currency evaporated. Spain thought silver made it rich while factories closed and knowledge fled. Every empire mistakes easy money for strength, until it learns the truth: the more you print, the less it's worth. 5:51, 7-20. Scene: Protests, graphs falling, factory layoffs, grocery prices rising. Stage 4. The reckoning. This is where the numbers stop lying. Inflation eats away at savings. The cost of living rises faster than wages. Debt becomes unpayable, not because the people changed, but because the value of the promise did. The middle class begins to hollow out. Faith starts to fracture. And the people who once trusted the system begin to look for alternatives: gold, crypto, bartering, anything outside the empire's reach. That's when governments panic, because belief is slipping away. 8:50. Scene: 1920s. Germany, 1980s Argentina, modern currency printers running non-stop. Stage 5. The panic. Once inflation turns to fear, the collapse accelerates. We've seen it in Weimar Germany, in Argentina, in Zimbabwe. It's not just numbers on a chart. It's the erasure of dignity. Pensioners burning their savings for heat. Workers demanding pay by noon before the currency loses half its value by night. Every empire faces this stage once debt becomes its god. And today, with trillions created out of thin air, the modern dollar flirts with that same edge. The system hasn't failed yet, but the gears are grinding louder. 8:51:10. Scene: Modern markets, debt clock spinning, citizens divided online. That brings us to stage 6, the transition. The collapse doesn't always come with fire. Sometimes it comes with silence, a global reset disguised as reform. New digital currencies, new systems of control, new elites who promise stability. The same pattern, a new beginning built on the ashes of belief. The question is simple. When the dollar's time ends, what replaces it, and who will own the next illusion? Every collapse births its replacement, and the replacement is always more centralized, more efficient, and more obedient. That's how control evolves, through crisis. Today, we're entering the next phase of that evolution, the digital empire. 046 2.20. Scene: central bank buildings, blockchain imagery, surveillance grids. Stage 7, the reset. It begins with convenience, digital money that promises safety, instant payments, and transparency. But behind that promise lies the same old bargain, power for access. Because when every transaction is traceable, every life becomes predictable. And predictability is the foundation of control. The new rulers don't need whips or prisons. They just need data. 2:21, 3:45. Scene: 1944. Bretton Woods, 1971. Nixon shock, 2023, CBDC announcements. We've seen this before. Bretton Woods after World War II, Nixon after Vietnam, stimulus after 2008. Each crisis resets the system. Each reset moves wealth upward. And each time fewer people notice, because the change feels like rescue. But what looks like salvation is often surrender. The dollar replaced gold. Now the digital ledger replaces the dollar. The pattern doesn't stop, it updates. 3:46:5. Query. Scene: split screen of digital prosperity versus street protests. Empires don't die, they transform. They move from physical to financial to digital control. But the result is the same. A few own the levers, the many provide the motion. Every transaction, every job, every click becomes tribute. Rome taxed grain. The modern empire taxes data. You're not the citizen anymore. You're the product. Schoffer vibe to 1640. Scene: AI monitoring screens, cyber warfare, news cycles repeating. Stage 8. The illusion of rebirth. After every collapse, people celebrate renewal. They believe the mistakes are gone, that the new system is fair, stable, and wise. But systems don't change because of technology. They change when people demand accountability. And that part never comes, because most are too exhausted from surviving the last collapse to fight the new one. So they accept the comfort of convenience over the chaos of freedom. And that's how the next empire begins. Quietly, efficiently, invisibly. 641, 8:20. Scene: footage of markets stabilizing, politicians promising the new era, ordinary people adapting. What happens next isn't prophecy, it's probability. Reserve currencies don't die overnight. They fade, replaced by networks that promise a better way. But no matter how advanced the technology becomes, the same rule applies. When belief dies, money dies. And when money dies, power shifts. The transfer doesn't happen in markets, it happens in minds. It's not the paper that loses value, it's the faith behind it. Taichung 21:10. Scene: fade to archival shots. Rome, Spain, Britain, America, all dissolving into one image of Earth at night lit by digital grids. So where are we now? America is at stage 6, entering stage 7. The collapse isn't coming. It's already here, wrapped in the language of innovation. The system isn't dying. It's evolving into something stronger, colder, and harder to escape. And just like every empire before it, it will claim it's building a better world. Maybe it is. But history suggests otherwise. Because every time humanity hands over belief for convenience, it pays the same price. Freedom, traded for order. And once that trade is made, it never comes back. Soft fade to black. Next time on the Lost Archives, the crisis machine, how the few turn collapse into gold.